Hello, my name is Allison Schlecht, and this is my selfie video. So for this assignment, I observed an educational kinesiologist, Kathy Brown, while she worked on a workshop entitled Brain Gym 101. Kathy has a diverse educational background. She was an elementary school teacher for 23 years prior to becoming involved in instructing Brain Gym. And Brain Gym is a system of easy and fun physical movements that are put together in different sequences to help activate and utilize our brains in a more organized way. In the Brain Gym 101 workshop, Kathy introduces her students to each of the 26 movements that make up the system. She then teaches them how to combine the movements in different ways for different learning purposes. According to Kathy's website, physical movements are used to enhance our ability to learn, process information, and move in an organized, comfortable way in the world around us. Brain Gym is intended for all ages and assists with many different learning and physical issues that are related to neurological matters. Kathy works with individuals of all ages, including adults, school children, and corporate groups. Kathy and I also discussed her most recent project, which involves working with individuals who are recovering from traumatic brain injury. The Brain Gym method works to help these individuals to regain normalcy in their day-to-day lives as they recover. The workshop that I observed was part of a 3-day course, and I observed approximately 1 hour of the last session of the workshop. During this time, the 3 students that were taking the class were taking turns in groups of 2 to put those movements into practice. Kathy was involved there. She was one of the sets of partners. The group that I observed consisted of 2 female grade school teachers and 1 male, who happened to be the husband of one of those teachers. The teachers were learning these techniques of Brain Gym to use in their classrooms, hoping that these movements would increase their students' ability to focus on their lessons. When they paired off to practice teaching and performing these movements, it allows Kathy to work with each student individually. It's during this time that she assesses each student's personal needs. She can then discuss with them if they feel that they need additional sessions to hone in their skills of presenting this material to their students that they teach on a day-to-day basis. According to our text, understanding student preferences about types of assignments can help teachers work from their strengths and address their needs. Kathy explains that she takes time to get to know the background of each of her students in her workshops to better understand their needs. She's able to do this because her groups are generally capped at about 8 or 9 participants at a time. The process of Brain Gym consists of a warm-up exercise with predefined steps. The warm-up is called PACE, which is an acronym for positive, active, clear, and energetic. In order to be open to the system, you need to feel positive about yourself. And this is achieved by taking a few minutes in a neutral pose. The students then will activate their brain by doing a standing crossbody crawl movement. The students then clear any stuck energy by rubbing the spot directly beneath the collarbone here. After this process is complete, then they're encouraged to drink some water, kind of hydrate, feel more energetic. Before you start this warm-up, the student will take notice of how they feel, whether they have any tension in their body or if they're tired or distracted. The warm-up then includes these physical movements and activities that activate both hemispheres of the brain, allowing them to be more alert and balanced. This readies the brain to learn and absorb the information presented more fully. After this warm-up, there's a period to reflect on the same items that were noticed at the beginning. For example, the tension previously felt might be lessened after these exercises. The process allows the teacher to complete a formative assessment, and as the learner is vocalizing the items they notice about themselves in the beginning and both in the reflection period. This gives the teacher an understanding of if that student is responding to the intervention in any way. I do agree that the formative assessment is important for this style of learning. As as this lesson is focused on the experience that the student is having with the connections of the brain and movements, it's important for the teacher to guide the lesson and to tailor it to the students in the class. According to our text, formative assessment refers to the ongoing assessment carried out by teachers, both formally and informally during a unit of work. In individual brain gym sessions range from 60 to 90 minutes, and this range is part due to the variance in how long each student utilizes each movement before they feel they've achieved the intention of that movement. Our book explains that getting the students to reflect on their own learning and to assess themselves is the key to linking assignment and learning. Brain gym really allows a lot of time and a lot of self-reflection for the student. This is important because it makes them take a part and an active role in their learning, which is important in this type of activity. I feel that in addition to the formative assessment, that this type of learning would benefit from a summative assessment as well. According to Hall, summative assessment is retrospective in that it looks back at what has been achieved, perhaps over a term, year, or key stage. I believe that this may be used when applying the methods to the students who will ultimately be benefiting from this lesson. The group that I was observing was learning these processes in order to apply them to their teaching profession. It is very likely that they also gained neurological benefits as well. I think that with the goals of the program being moving in the world in a more organized manner, it would be beneficial to have some reflection completed after applying these techniques for a certain time period. This would most likely be completed after a student had been through several sessions with Kathy, or perhaps on a monthly or quarterly basis in regards to those school children who would be that these teachers would be working with in the future. All in all, I really found the observation to be very enlightening and inspiring. Watching the process of brain gym in action was really inspiring. During the class, Kathy described a young adult student that she had worked with who was having trouble in general knowing what to do with his life, and had started college and dropped out after a few semesters and had kind of been living a rough life in between, drug use, all kinds of bad stuff. His mother, who's an elementary school teacher, suggested a session with Kathy because she had worked with her previously in her own classroom. This young man attended several sessions. He focused on balancing his mind and his priorities, and later re-enrolled in school with a better focus, and was placed on the dean's list the following semester. So it's definitely something that has a very positive effect for the people who go through it and put it into practice. He attributes his success to, in school, to the balance that he gained through the program. So the wide range of people that she described that she helps that have benefited from her sessions was really amazing. All right, well, thank you so much. There's my cat.